Good morning, Cougars. We are at the last part of this lesson, and we're on activity I. It's the meaning of prefixes and suffixes. Look at the first prefix, miss. Miss means wrongly, wrong, or not. So if you heard that Tyler had a let me start over. So if you heard that Tyler had miscalculated, you guessed that Tyler had done something wrong. Look at the second prefix, this. This means not or opposite of. So if someone said that Emma was disorganized, you could guess that Emma was not organized or the opposite of organized. Learning the meaning of prefixes sometimes helps you figure out the meaning of words. Let's learn the meaning of some words that have the prefix miss and dis. Look at A. So we're looking at A. Let's read the explanation. Someone who does not fit with the rest of the group, a person who looks, ideas, or behaviors are quite different from a certain group. Let me read that again. Someone who does not fit in with the rest of the group, a person who looks, or ideas, or behaviors that are quite different from a certain group. What word means someone who does not fit? Not fit. We could make that into misfit. So if everyone showed up at a party wearing costume and someone showed up not wearing one, that person might feel like a misfit. In another situation, in what other situation might a person feel like a misfit? Let's think in our heads in what other situation someone might feel like a misfit. A person might feel like a misfit if he or she is not wearing the uniform for Romero Cruz Academy, right? Or I might feel like a misfit if I am super into anime and this group is super into soccer. All right, now let's look at B. Read the explanation with me. To do the opposite of claim. To give up a claim. So opposite, dis, claim. So what word means the opposite of claim? Disclaim. So if you give up your claim to do the opposite of something, so if you give up your claim to something you own, you disclaim it. Now let's look at C. Just to look at line 1 and line 3. I'm assuming it's one of these, all right? Because we should have looked at, oh, it doesn't have that. Interesting. Maybe down here? I don't see it, but anyways, this number has to do something with it. Well, let's look at C, a word or phrase that was printed wrongly. A printing error. So wrongly, we're going to pick one of these prefixes. Wrongly means miss. Print, misprinted. There you go. A word or phrase that was printed wrongly, a printing error on a book, on a newspaper. So what word means something that was printed wrongly? Misprint. What do we call a printing error? A misprint. Perfect, guys. We're going to move on to activity J. For this one, I'm going to dictate some spelling words, and you're just going to use a Google form. In fact, I'll post it in our Google Classroom. So how about we pause here? Activity J is going to be me giving you a spelling dictation, which is a spelling test. All right. If we've already done the spelling dictation, we're headed back to our activity K. Activity K. If you're going to learn 4 vocabulary words, look at line 1. Read the word to yourself. Actually, in this instance, you're going to learn 2 vocabulary words. I'm sorry. Look at line 1. Let's read the definition or the word. If someone or something distracts you, they take your attention away from what you're doing. If you're reading a book and loud music is playing, the music might be... Let me say that again. If you're reading a book and loud music is playing, the music might be distracting you. Correct. Number 2, if you are taking, same word, another sentence. If you're taking a math test and a friend starts talking to you, the friend might distract you. Now think in your head, what are some things that might disrupt or distract you if you're working on a project at home? Begin by saying some things that would distract me include dogs barking, my little sister crying. Some things that might distract me include my mom's vacuum when she cleans. Right. Number 2, read the word to yourself. The word is admit. If you admit that something bad or embarrassing is true, you agree, often unwilling, that it is true. If you hurt someone's feelings, you might not want to admit it. Think, what are some things a person might not want to confess or admit to? Let's begin by saying one thing that a person might not want to admit to is maybe what? I wouldn't want to admit to, I don't know, cheating on a test. I wouldn't want to admit to plagiarizing a paper. I wouldn't want to admit to anything that would make me look bad. And that's it for activity K. We learned 2 vocab words. And then the next time we see each other, we're going to be going into the next lesson. Perfect, guys. For today, just remember, for this activity, you do need to give me your spelling dictation. You do need to give me this meaning of prefixes and suffixes. Circling prefixes and suffixes, and activity G.